I'm going to teach you how to make these cute old-fashioned Valentines with a surprise in the middle. So, as you can see, it's folded up and it actually started as one piece of paper. First, let's go through our materials. You need a piece of square paper. Scrapbooking paper that's 12 inches works really well. It's nice if it's printed on one side and plain on the back, so scrapbooking paper is perfect for this. You might just want to buy a packet of paper so that all your materials match. The next thing you need is some kind of ruler. You'll need at least one kind of pen. You'll need scissors. You'll need stickers or a way to make stickers. I use this Xyron machine. You'll need a heart pattern. Mine was made from a cookie cutter. Some paper and ribbon of your choice. And of course, any of these can be colors, dimensions, whatever you choose. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing we want to do is fold our paper. So this is a little bit of like an origami project here. You're going to start by putting two corners together, and each time we make a fold, we're going to unfold it. We're just going to unfold that, and then we're going to fold the opposite two corners together. And by the way, I didn't mention, my name is Dreena Tischler. I'm the mom of 5 and always looking for craft ideas. Alright, now we're going to make a trifold. So for this you need a ruler. If it's 12-inch paper, it's going to be a 4-inch fold. So this is the easiest way for me to do it. You could certainly make a mark if you wanted to, but I'm just too lazy to go back and erase those marks. So I'm going to fold the paper basically a third of the paper. Now I'm going to use that fold to help me. I'm going to fold the other third. That way this paper has now been divided in thirds. You can see that. Now we're going to do the same thing the other direction. What we want to do is we want to wind up with exactly 9 squares. And most of those squares will have diagonal lines in them. One more fold. I just love this Valentine. I found the folded parts on marthastewart.com, and then I thought of a few ways to kind of make it my own. Okay, so as you can see, we have 9 squares, and each of the corners has a little diagonal line in it, and the square in the middle has an X. If you have that, you know you've done the right thing. Now, for the first time, we're going to flip the paper over and have the pattern side up. Now, it's a little hard to see, but there are actually horizontal and vertical lines running here. We're going to fold this corner to this inside left-hand corner of the center square. And then we're going to fold a diagonal line in this center square, center right square. We're just going to fold to the corner. We're not going to fold this part. If you do, it doesn't matter. I did it the first time. It doesn't really matter. Now we're going to flip it around and do the same thing on the opposite side. And we're going to do this on all 4 corners, so that each of these 4 center outside squares will have a diagonal line in it, and it's going to be, it bends the opposite way of all of your other folds so far. There's probably a more organized way to do that. Alright. Now comes the slightly tricky part. I can never quite get it right on the first try. What we're going to do is we're going to make a 4-cornered square. And you just kind of go with the path of least resistance here. Eventually, something will want to fold down. And when it does, you take that, keep kind of messing with it till you get all 4 points. Oops, this last one is always a little bit tricky to get somehow, especially when you're filming it. There we go. Now you want to kind of tighten up those folds a little bit. Martha Stewart said use a boning tool I'm just too lazy. The paper's thin, so. Now we're going to make 4 folds to the inside to make our final square. I'm going to go counterclockwise. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then this is flap 4, and it's actually going to tuck inside flap 1. Nice and neatly. There we go. That's how you make your 4 corners. Now, at this point, you want to decide how you're going to decorate the front. What I did was I took a sticker. I actually made my own stickers using pattern paper and my sticker machine, but you can certainly buy stickers. You just stick that little sticker on there, and then you use your utility knife to cut into the middle. It does take a few minutes. I'll show you when I get to the inside. Now, I wrote the famous sonnet by Elizabeth Barrett Browning on this one, so I numbered it to make the reader have a little less trouble doing it. So each little side has a part of the poem. And then you open up the first flaps, and here's 5, hopefully, 6, 7, 8, verse 9, and verse 10. There's 4 more inside. Now I'm going to pause here and show you how to do this little sticker. So I'm just going to do a little heart sticker in here in the center. You stick it down, if you don't stick it too hard in the middle, it makes it easier. Then you just use your craft knife to trim along the lines of your folds. You have to be this is a little bit of a delicate operation. If you're too heavy-handed, you might accidentally cut into one of your folds. So I sort of err on the side of not getting all the way through the first time, and then I just check. But it's going to come open. There we go. Now, they would read these rest of these verses, and then they open it up. And here are the last 4 verses, and a little gift. So in this case, it's a bookmark. So now I'll show you how to make the bookmark, and then we'll be all set. The bookmark is super simple. I used this really lightweight ribbon, for one thing because I had it on hand, but also because it folded up really easily to fit in there, and it's light, so it didn't take up a lot of space. So you just need to make a heart-shaped pattern or whatever shape you want to use. I used a cookie cutter to make my pattern. Then you're going to trace on that on the paper that you're going to use for the inside of your bookmark. I used cardstock. It makes a little bit more stable. And then you need to put some kind of adhesive on the back of one of those hearts. Pretty simple. This is definitely not a complicated project. Then you stick them together, and unless you're a really good precise cutter or pattern tracer, you're probably going to have to clean up a little bit to make both shapes match exactly, but that's not that big a deal. Now we're going to use our cutting board. I don't know if I remember to mention that earlier. First, you measure your ribbon. My ribbon is 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to sort of center that 1.5 inches on here, and I'm going to make a cut that's almost that wide. And I'm just going to move down, I don't know, probably 3/8 of an inch short. You don't want it too thin because it will tear, but you do want it thin enough that it's not taking up too much of your writing space on your bookmark. I think it was cutting the ruler instead of the card. You can tell this isn't edited. Okay, and then you usually, because you're cutting 2 thicknesses of cardstock, you have to kind of delicately cut through the other side. Once you've done that, you're going to cut your ribbon. I think a little bit over 1 foot is going to be plenty long for most books. You fold your ribbon in half, and you make a cut toward the center, so you get this little sort of zigzag bookmarky looking end. And then in the top, you want to cut away from the center so you have a nice little point. If it's not pointy, you just try again. There you go. Nice little point. Now, if you're using a kind of ribbon like gross grain ribbon that frays badly, you would want to dip this in some fray check or something. Then you're just going to take this ribbon and you're going to thread it through your hearts. You can thread it in front or in back, it's your choice. I threaded it in back and then I wrote a little message in there. So that's the whole project. I hope you'll try it for yourself and let me know if you like it.